Hello, I'm Coach Reggie B. A lot of people have been messaging me and calling me about being a keynote speaker. Some because they know I teach it, they know I do it, and others because they've seen some of the posts I put out. And to you who have been asking me lots of questions, and to others who are interested in becoming a keynote speaker, and those speakers that are out there that are trying to take their game to another level, I want to give you some formal information about it that I teach when I'm teaching keynote speaking, when I'm teaching public speaking, when I'm teaching briefings and presentation techniques. In this way, you have some sort of foundation if you've never read or heard of this before. So I just put a few notes together, and yes, I will read some of them. But I want you to think about, what is a speaker? Now, I'm a DJ, and so I'm not talking about the box with a wire connected to it. I'm talking about you, your voice, being able to be out on stage or some form of a stage and communicating to an audience. That's the gist of it. So what are you trying to do when you step out there? You're trying to inform, educate, persuade, entertain, inspire, or maybe even transform people. That's not easy to do. And you're doing it with your voice, with your nonverbals. You're doing it with your presentation. So what is informing? It means you give people knowledge, facts, or awareness. And the goal is to help people to understand. Educate, that means teach people how to think, grow, and improve. And the goal is to help people to develop themselves. Persuade, you're influencing beliefs, decisions, or actions. I teach a course on the art of persuasion. And I do a lot of persuading and teaching the students how to persuade. But the goal is to move people to action. And then there's the entertaining. Of course, you know I'm a DJ. And so to entertain is to capture the attention, emotion, laughter, or imagination of the audience. And the goal, of course, is to create an engagement and emotional connection. So when you're on stage, are you creating that emotional connection, that engagement with your audience? And it's fun. To inspire, that means to increase hope, confidence, and emotional connection. The goal is to lift people emotionally. Not easy to do. And then my favorite, transform. So when you challenge people to confront truth and change behavior, this is part of that transformation. And this is where the reality speaker lives. You know, I created the reality speaker term. And transformation is always, always my goal. Doesn't always happen, but it is my goal. But the goal in transformation is to create lasting change through reality, truth, and execution. So there are a lot of categories of speaking. And the one category that pops up first that I always start with is public speaking. So what is public speaking? You've heard of it. You may even have done it. But what is public speaking? Public speaking is the broad foundation of all speaking. It is the act of communicating ideas, information, stories, or messages to an audience. Public speaking has existed for thousands of years. And so where has it existed? Government, religion, education, military leadership, politics, community leadership, teaching, and storytelling. Public speaking. It's the umbrella category for which many modern speaking styles evolved. The core question as a public speaker that you should ask yourself is, how do I communicate effectively to an audience? That's the work. Before you step on that stage, you need to be able to know that you will be able to communicate effectively to an audience. And if you don't know that, that's a core question you need to ask yourself, and you need to answer that before you step on stage. Motivational speaking. A lot of people say, Reggie, you a motivational speaker? I'm like, well, I do that too. But what is a motivational speaker? Motivational speaking primarily grew out of the church, revivals, and faith-based traditions. Its purpose was to, remember this, inspire people emotionally, lift people spiritually, encourage belief and hope, and help people overcome hardship. The energy was emotional, the focus was encouragement, and the audience left feeling inspired. So now you want to be you want to be a motivational speaker. What's the question you need to ask yourself? How do I make people feel better? How do I make people feel better? And if you don't know how to do that, then that's the work you need to put into becoming a motivational speaker. Then there's the keynote speaker. Reggie, I want you to be the keynote speaker for this event. So what is a keynote speaker? And what do I need to do? Keynote speaking evolved more from the business, entertainment, conference, and performance world. Much like a musical keynote sets the tone for a performance, a keynote speaker sets the tone for the event, the conference, or an organization. Its purpose was to frame the event, deliver strategic insight, energize the audience, and align people around a theme or a vision. The energy was polished and professional. The focus was messaging and positioning. The audience left with a central idea. But the core question that you need to ask yourself if you want to be a keynote speaker and you want to get out there and get on stage is, how do I move the room around one big idea? You're not just moving individuals in a seat. You're moving the entire room around one big idea, and you need to know what that idea is before you start. So that's just a little bit of the foundation. Then there's reality speaker. Now, I keep saying that I came up with this because I did all of the research and it's never existed before. So I came up with it, wrote a lot of stuff behind it, sent it to the Patent and Trademark Office. We're going back and forth. You know, they have their way, I have my way. But the point is, reality speaking is a thing. What is it? So it is different. It's not built on hype. It's not built on performance alone. It's built on truth, transparency, experience, execution, and transformation. This is where you can't just be able to wax eloquent and step on stage and wow the crowd and make them feel good. No, that's not reality speaking. That's a different type of speaking. And so a reality speaker speaks from real life experiences, real scars, experiences, real leadership, not just being in a leadership position, but being a leader, experiences, real wins, real failures, experiences. Because I keep saying experiences because when you have all of these experiences, you are speaking from the reality of your experiences, and you can answer questions differently to the audience than something you read, or statistics say this, or there was a white paper on this, or research says this, or this institution or this broadcast company stated this. No. Reality speaking is what you know for a fact to be true because of your experiences. Real consequences. And then finally, real growth. You're speaking from your real consequences. I lost $300,000. I didn't read about that. I experienced it. I felt it, the consequences, the failures, all of that. That's what a reality speaker is, and that's what they do. And the goal is not simply to inspire folks. The goal is to transform people. And the core question, if you want to be a reality speaker, is how do I help people confront reality so they become the best version of themselves? So as a speaker in the reality world, it's not about you. Well, actually, as a speaker, it should never be about you. It should be about the audience. But often you are the draw, you are the star, you are the celebrity on stage, if you will. And so they make it about you, but you should never make it about you. In reality, it should be about the audience. So I just wanted to give you those things to think about. Just as a recap, those are some of the categories. There's some others. Inspirational speaking. I talked about public speaking, motivational speaking, keynote speaking, and reality speaking, but there's also inspirational speaking. There's corporate speaking, educational speaking, TED style speaking, training and facilitation speaking, which I do quite a bit of, Workshop speaking, another area I do quite a bit of. And so I just wanted to give you a more academic, foundational understanding of what speaking is, other than just saying, I'm a speaker. And of course, here's a pitch. If you need a speaker, you need a keynote speaker, you need a motivational speaker, you need a reality speaker, you need a public speaker. All right, I'm available, but not just me. There are a lot of people out there who do this for a living, and they charge anywhere from $5,000 to $500,000. And do your research, but when you get a speaker, when you hire a speaker, at least now you know what to expect, because there should be a deliverable, especially when you pay for it. And for you people out there who are trying to become a speaker, get out there, do pro bonos, mess it up, make your mistakes, get a recording, watch yourself, see your mistakes, work on your vocal interferences, and just get better and better and better. There is no one out there who is an expert at anything that did not start from the beginning of trial and error, wins, losses, failures, and just trying to figure it out. It's like I'm a 5th degree martial artist. There's not a single black belt out there that did not go through those experiences of white belt, yellow belt, orange belt, green belt, etc. And so get out there and put the work in to becoming the best version of yourself. I'm Coach Reggie B.